welcome to another episode of Getting to Know You. Today we're here with Veronica Ibarra, and yeah, she's a licensed marriage family therapist as well as I am. I'm Mark Wachahusky. We're just gonna say LMFT because it's a lot easier to say. I don't screw that up too often. I do screw up the other words very often. Anyway, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good.
Well, that's good. So if you're okay and you're ready, I think we're just going to jump right on into these fun questions about you.
Sure.
Okay, well, let's get to know you. Why did you become a therapist?
I think that's an interesting question because I've always been the type of person that when I'm at the grocery store in line, minding my own business, sometimes with my AirPods in, people like randomly tell me their stuff, right? And so this always happened. And it was like the family joke, like, if you want a crazy story of something that happened out in public, go talk to Veronica. So as I went through it, I was like, people do have a lot of crazy stories and, it'd be interesting to hear some of those. And sometimes friends would come to me for advice and I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So that kind of sparked my interest to then start to, well, what is out there? How can I help? I love to help. And so sometimes you can help and not do a great job. So I wanted to learn how to help in the best way possible. So that really sparked my interest to go into to do therapy.
So it came from a place of really your space being invaded.
Yeah, kind of.
Random people coming up to you.
Yeah.
And they're just unloading on you, their story.
Yeah, and I'm like, you should really see someone.
I had headphones in and everything. That's such a great picture. Oh, that's fun. But that's awesome. That's very cool. Well, I'm happy to hear that. That's very cool. What types of clients are you passionate about seeing, about having?
So being a first gen Hispanic, so it's really interesting to see how within our own families and cultures we hold on to a lot of stuff. And a lot of us struggle with a lot of health issues, but a lot of it, once you start to talk it out, some of those health issues tend to go away when we treat some of that emotional trauma. So I've been doing a lot of work right now with people working on some of that emotional trauma, generational trauma. So I don't know, I think I have such a soft spot for those types of clients. I work with everyone, but those clients, those really have my heart.
If I could whittle it down a little bit, the generational things that we bring in with us, the trauma that maybe doesn't get talked about, and that is kind of what that I'm trying to think of what the word is. I don't know. The garners like your instinct and passion to be a part of that process for them.
Yeah, like my first instinct is to protect, right? And so sometimes it's like, how can I protect without overstepping? So part of protection to me is knowledge. So the more you know and the more aware you are of things, the easier it is for you to navigate through things. And I've had clients tell me like, get out of my head. And it's like, well, I'm in there, but I'm not there with you. So I'm glad that they're at least taking what I'm giving them and, using it and applying it. Quite honestly, I can relate. I've been there.
Okay, now that's awesome. So that is really one of the highest compliments you can be paid as a therapist, to have someone tell you like, you know what I'm thinking. Why these clients? Why are you passionate about seeing these clients?
I know, like, even in my family, like I see a lot of similar topics and a lot of similar themes that happen. And so nobody really talks about it. And it usually takes that one person. And I always say, like, welcome to the Black Sheep Club, because once you're here, that means you're actually doing the work and you're trying to navigate through some of those difficult things. And yeah, once you start to set boundaries and really advocate for yourself, that's when you really get to see people like push back. And it's kind of like to let you know, like, if they're pushing back, you're doing it good. You're doing it right.
That's a great reason to do what you do. So that's very cool. This is the part of the interview where we're going to kind of take a sharp left. It doesn't have to be left. It's just a sharp turn here. And I'm going to ask you, do you have any unusual or hidden talents or gifts or hobbies or even things that you're interested in?
So I'm not that like overtly talented, but I can bake like no other. Like I'm adventurous in that regard. Like anything in the kitchen, like I'm pretty, like I'll try it. I'll try anything one time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you can't start off by saying, I'm not very talented, and then come out and say, but I can make a mean upside down cake, and I'm adventurous with my cooking.
Well,
That's
most
a
people
talent.
don't think of it as like cooking or baking is a huge, at least not in my family. We're all Hispanic, so they're all great in the kitchen. So I guess on that scale, I'm not as high ranking, but I will try to cook anything at least once.
Okay. So maybe it's because of the background. You're like, oh, you downplay it. Maybe it's not a hidden talent, but I mean, it's definitely an interest and a hobby and right things that you like
Yeah.
doing, right?
I think if I wasn't a therapist, that'd probably be what I'd be doing.
Wow. I mean, that's big. That's
Yeah.
big. What would be the biggest adventurous risk or thing you've done with baking then?
So I've never made what are they called? Snickerdoodles.
Okay.
So last year for Christmas, that was like my one goal. And I messed up like 2 batches. And I sat there like, I can't take these to my family. These look disgusting. So I had to try to figure it out. And I was trying to make them sugar-free. So
Oh, wow.
sugar-free snickerdoodles are not the business. So I ended up having to cheat a little and I added some sugar and but I made it work.
Okay.
I have cooked cow tongue before too. So
Okay. Okay. I mean, and how'd that go? I mean, it didn't start speaking.
That one, yeah, it didn't start speaking and it didn't give me a tongue lashing for throwing it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that one was simple. Just throw it all in the it'll just boil.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, that's very cool. Thank you for indulging me. Have you ever thought about those shows that are on TV, like those cook-off challenges and things like that? I don't know.
I have. So I've actually teased with my husband that we really want to compete on Nailed It.
Oh, okay.
My husband's pretty good at like the baking and cooking as well. So sometimes like we'll have competitions even between us at home. So I was always telling him like we should just sign up one of these days and just like be on Nailed It.
Yeah. What's stopping you?
Time.
I think it'd be great. I think you should try it.
Yep.
I'll look forward to seeing on the show. Is there any advice or wisdom or a little piece of information that you want to impart to anyone who's listening to us or watching us, and and maybe whittle it down to some bumper sticker kind of advice? Even again, knowing that it's not going to be good for everybody and all people at all times, but if you could just leave us with a bit of wisdom there or something.
I think as hard as we think life is, sometimes we just have to push through it. And if we can't push through it, we have to figure out where are supports that can help us push through it. So someone's always there to help.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty straightforward and simple. It's a really long bumper sticker.
Yeah,
but,
kind of. Maybe one of those cursive ones.
This what?
A cursive bumper
Oh,
sticker,
it just keeps-
sticker that you got to like really read into it.
This long.
Yeah.
It's a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Like for your car. So try to push through. And if you can't, know your support system or support structure, right?
Yeah.
I miss any?
No, you got it. Perfect.
Those are all my questions for you. Before we kind of wrap this part up, is there anything you wanted to add? Maybe something like, oh, as we were talking, I forgot to say something. This is your opportunity.
The only thing that came up for me was like the very first time I actually had to do therapy with someone. As they were telling me their story, I'm like, oh, wow, that sounds pretty rough. Like you should really talk to someone. And then that realization came of like, that's you. That's all me.
Someone.
I'm not someone you're gonna have to talk to. So
Okay.
Even we have those struggles, even we have those insecurities. So sometimes it's important to understand that we're human and we're gonna meet you there. Me personally, I always meet my clients where they're at. And I think that's the more beautiful part of it, because if you're not ready, you're not ready. And if you are, let's go.
That's really cool. So meeting clients, meeting people where they are, and remembering that we're also people. So, the struggle is real and we're in it together, all of us,
We'll work it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, very cool. Thank you so much for sharing all of this wisdom. Thank you for sharing your humanness with us as well as your wisdom and insight. There we go.
No, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you putting up with my line of questioning, as well as, I don't know, wherever random places we've gone while we've talked. Do appreciate it. And I look forward to hearing more from you. And thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.